everyone, this is Brittnee Bond, and welcome back to the podcast. Today I want to talk about girl code. So, a lot of you apparently don't know what this is because I keep encountering this in my everyday reality. Everything I make on my podcast is because something has happened in my everyday reality that sparks me to be like, I need to tell the masses about this because what the heck is going on? So, girl code. What is girl code? So, girl code is this unspoken, secret kind of agreement that all of us women have with each other of how to show up in a way like women to women where we are safe for each other, where we trust each other, where we feel like we have each other's back. A lot of you complain about feeling unsafe around the masculine these days, and I'm over here like, y'all girls I have to call you out a little bit because there is so much treachery happening from women amongst women, and I don't think a lot of you are even doing it on purpose, which makes me even more confused because I'm like, I grew up with sisters where we really, like, I have two sisters. I'm the middle child. And we really had each other's backs. And I don't have as close of a relationship with my younger sister as I would like to have, but I still love her to this day. And, like, love all of my family. But I just mean, like, even when I didn't have a great one-on-one relationship with one of my sisters, I still had her back. And the girl code still stood. And I want to explain this to you because I feel like a lot of you, there's something happening where y'all are betraying each other. And I don't think you're doing it on purpose, but it's causing a lot of pain. I seem to come from a reality where we just do this automatically. So I want to break this down for you in ways where you can understand it. So I really believe that us women, we are so much more powerful than we let on, than we even realize within ourselves. And we need reflections from other women. This is the secret to a lot of our success. Yes, on the one hand, we need to recognize how powerful we are as women. Like, do you realize, as a woman, if you're listening to this, do you realize how powerful you are, girl? Like, just full stop. And stop. Please stop putting yourself down. Please stop minimizing what you can do. Like, just own it. Just own who you are, own what you're good at, because these are gifts that you're meant to share with the world. And we do not have time to waste energy being like, oh no, I'm actually not that good. Or, all you have to do, if someone's complimenting you and saying you're doing a great job, just say thank you. I spent so many years trying to minimize myself because I was in a reality where I just happened to be doing so much better than everyone else around me. And there's two things. One, I just needed to accept it and say thank you. And two, I needed to get myself in rooms where people were doing things that were inspiring for me. I don't, if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to find a different room. If you're the smartest person in the room, go somewhere else where you are not the smartest person in the room. Like, find your people where you can keep growing. Because if you're not growing, you're not going to learn what you need to learn and become the person that you're meant to become. Because we are meant to keep growing. So that's, first off, like, please stop minimizing who you are. And second off, we need reflections from other women in order to recognize our full power as women. Because there is something about another woman witnessing your story and just being like, girl, I know it's hard, but you need to keep going. You got this. Or just to really listen and be like, it's okay. You're feeling this thing. It's okay. Whatever you're feeling, it's okay. You are still loved. You are still worthy of connection. You are still powerful, even though you're going through this thing right now. And I know it's really hard, and it's okay. And I'm here with you, and I'm going to walk with you through it. I'm going to witness you in your story, and I'm going to support you. And I'm going to dig deeper when you try and, not look at the things that you need to grow in. Like, I'm going to call you out in the most loving way possible, because that's what I do as a sister. This is what sisters do for each other. So girl code comes in that way of, yes, like supporting each other to, keep evolving into these boss babes that we know that we're meant to be, right? But the thing I want to talk about in this podcast is girl code in the sense of when other men are involved. Because you can say you are the most trustworthy sister around. You can say that you have the women around you's backs. But if a lot of this I noticed, especially when I went to California, when I went to the States, because this is also like my culture. This is where I grew up. I started to recognize that one, there isn't a lot of feminine presenting female bodied women. There's a lot of women who are very much in their masculine energy, are leading in their masculine energy, even though they don't really want to. So that's one thing. But the second thing is there is a lot of women saying that they have each other's backs and then just throwing that all out the window the second a guy gets involved. And so I'm going to break down some very specific things that you need to understand about girl code, because if you're not doing these things, you're going to mess up your relationship with your sisters, and I don't want that. So I want to give you some very practical tips. First off, I'm using the women that you are in connection with here. I'm going to use the term sister. So whoever she's in a partnership with, whether it's a man, woman, other, it doesn't matter. But the first thing you have to do is protect and honor her partnership that she's in. Even if you, this is a very important point, even if you don't support it, and especially if you're attracted to her partner. So what does that mean? I personally believe that you can be friends with people who, like, if I have a sister, I can still have my own emotional connection with her partner if she's okay with it. That's the first off. She has to feel comfortable with that. And also, this is maturity level, like higher emotional maturity level. So if you feel like you do not have the emotional maturity to be able to hold both of those relationships, like one, honor the partnership and honor your relationship with your sister, and also have a connection with her partner, then just do not have a connection with her partner outside of social events that you see both of them at. If you do feel that you can do this, then just know that it's a very important thing that in all parts of yourself, emotionally, sexually, physically, energetically, you are honoring when you're in connection with her partner. So that you're honoring their partnership. So I'll give you an example. Like I went on a hike recently with one of my girlfriend's partners, and we all are such good friends, and she knew we were going on a hike. She was super supportive. She's like, go do your thing. But that's because her and I have years and years of built-in trust with each other and showing up for each other and really honoring each other in our partnerships. And when I'm going on a hike with him, yeah, I'm talking to him about my life and he's talking to me about his life. But anything that he shares about his partnership, my goal in my head is to honor and support their partnership. So I would never say anything that would break down their partnership. If I had any negative feedback or, opportunity for growth or anything like that, I would always make sure that I'd run it by her first. Like my goal is, one, to protect my sister, and two, to protect the partnership that she chooses to be in that moment. So again, if you feel like you can't handle that, then do not have a connection with her partner. But there is a lot of shady things happening with women these days where they're like, yeah, we're friends. And I'm like, what? What? What's happening here? Because it's all energy. You can feel it. Even if nothing physically is happening, even if no words are being spoken, if there is an energy of attraction between you and your sister's partner, and you're not actively persuading it to go away, then you are indulging in it. And to me, that's already a betrayal. So really ask yourself, is my connection with any of my sister's partners, or any of them, a betrayal of supporting their partnership? And what you might have to do is remove yourself from closer connections with their partners, because a lot of times it's not us women, it's the men that are attracted to us. And I've had this many times in my life where I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm just out here vibing. This is my wild woman self, and that's fine. But you can be your wild woman self and also protect the sisterhood around you. So that's something I personally had to learn was like, yes, men are going to be attracted to me, but it's like, what am I going to do about it? Am I going to lean into that connection? Or am I going to, if they're in a partnership with one of my sisters, or am I going to put up boundaries? Like the feminine is putting up boundaries so that we can stay soft, so that we can stay our wild women selves. So it is not a restriction on your part. It's actually protection of you, your connection with your sister, and also their partnership. Remember, the main important thing is protecting their partnership. The second thing I want to go into here is say, at least for appearance sake, like there is no clear partnership, and so I'll give you an example. I have a girlfriend here on the island. She's one of my closest friends here, and we're only a couple days apart. We're both Scorpios, rising Aquarius. We both work in sexuality, somatic therapy, and we both happen to attract in, without even realizing it, the same men. Not the same type of men, the exact same men. There has been multiple times where we're both like, hey, I just hooked up with this guy. And they're like, and the other one is like, I also hooked up with him. And they're like, how recently? And what happened? And what? And so we created very naturally this girl code between us where we were like, the second we are attracted to a guy, we message the other one like, hey, do you know this person? Do you already have a story or a connection with this person? If so, are you okay with me connecting with them? The reason why this is because this is the second point. Your sisterhood comes first, and checking in with your sisters before you engage with a man romantically is the most important thing you can do to protect your sisterhood. I do not care about what happens afterwards. So in this situation with me and my girlfriend here on Koh Phangan, that's a very specific situation because it's a very small place, and we just realized over time that we happen to attract in the same men. But I'm talking about like if you're out in the world and in your communities and you are, you're friends with all your sisters, right? And you know that one of them has a closer relationship with a guy than you do. You check in with her first and say, hey, I notice you're friends with this guy. Is it more than friends? Do you like him? Is it okay if I romantically, engage with him? Ask them if there's a story there. Check in with the women first. So I had a situation recently that very much inspired this podcast because I was like, what is happening? I noticed in the States, like, there's the girl code. You ladies need to work on your girl code because it is hurting you more than it's supporting you at this point. I want to share an example of this that is very relevant because I hear this over and over again with you women, and I myself have experienced this, and I just don't understand why it keeps happening. It's so easy to avoid the situation. It's like, why are we not communicating more with each other? So the situation goes something like this. I'll put myself in the situation. I have a guy friend that everyone knows I am super close with. And as far as everyone knows, we are not romantic with each other, but we are very, very close. It's very obvious in our community that we are close, right? There is another sister that comes into the picture, and she just immediately starts having a connection with him without checking in with me first. And again, on the surface, no one is doing anything wrong. But if her intention is to honor the partnership, the sisterhood between her and I, then she would check in with me first and be like, hey, I noticed you guys are super close. Maybe even you're traveling together, you're living together. Is there something deeper here that I should know about? And I could say, no, there's nothing. Oh my God, I'm so supportive of you exploring this. Go for it. And usually if you are checking in with a woman first before you do anything with the guy that she's close with, whether it's her friends, her ex-lover, her ex-boyfriend, if you check in with her first before you do anything with him, before you even talk to him about it, then you will create such a beautiful bond of trust between you, and all you have to do is say, hey, I'm noticing I'm having some feelings for this guy or this girl, and I want to protect the sisterhood that you and I have. Are you cool with me engaging with them in this way? Or like, just want to check in. Is there any connection that you guys have that I should know about? And just to be real and honest and down to earth and vulnerable about that. And that creates such an opportunity, 1, for connection, and 2, for safety, and 3, for trust. Because you're like, wow, I'm really honoring that I'm like trusting this. I'm trusting this woman, the sister, with my feelings. I am creating trust for her to share whatever she has. And I've had situations where, I'm friends with a guy, and then like girls come in and they're just like immediately connecting with him, and they know how close I am with this man. And then afterwards, after they hook up with them, they're like, oh, by the way, are you cool with us hooking up? Like, and I'm just like, why are you even asking me? It doesn't even matter anymore because you didn't do any check-in. It does not matter after the fact. Like, it literally does not matter. If you're going to do whatever the heck you want, then there's no point of even checking in. The check-in is like, I'm going to make sure that I'm protecting your heart first as my sister, and then I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. And I had a situation where the girl was like, hey, by the way, is it cool that I hooked up with him last night? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, she didn't even know that him and I had just had sex together like 2 days before. And she didn't know, and she wouldn't know that because she didn't ask. And it's like, oh my gosh, like so much opportunity for drama and chaos. And this is the thing about like when you're out of the partnership arena, like if you're not in a committed partnership and you're still having romantic relationships with lovers, friends, maybe you're potentially going to get into a partnership and you're still in this kind of gray area. This is where things are even more vulnerable. This is where things are even more sensitive. This is where even more communication needs to happen. And I want to put a huge disclaimer. I wish I could put this in all caps right now. If you as a woman do not go check in with your sister first, but you go check in with the guy first and you ask, hey, what's going on between you and, my sister here? And he says, oh, nothing's happening. Or, yeah, we're just friends. Yeah, we're super close, but like nothing romantic at all. I do not care what the guy says, because men are living in a very different reality than women are. Until men are on a broader scale able to catch up with their emotional maturity and their emotional tools of being able to play the game of connection at this deeper level of nuance, a lot of times they are not going to be aware, literally, even if they want to in their consciousness, they are not going to be aware of all of the things that us women are aware of. And also, I don't care what they believe is their connection between them and I. If you are trying to protect the sisterhood of you and another woman, why aren't you going to that woman and asking her? For me, this is already a betrayal, because it's like, if you want to be close to that person, why aren't you just going straight to the person and talking to them? Why are you going over here and asking someone else about it? I feel like this is just my opinion, so you take it however you want it, but I feel like that's kind of a covert way of bypassing. Like we talk about spiritual bypassing all the time. I feel like this is like sisterhood bypassing. It's like, I want to get what I want, but I'm going to be able to say later, oh, I checked in because I asked the guy, but I didn't go ask the woman. And maybe it's because you're worried she's going to say, hey, I actually have feelings for him, or hey, I'm not actually comfortable with you connecting with him. Because then what are you going to do? Whereas if you ask him and he's like, yeah, I'm game, let's do this. Like, oh yeah, she's totally fine with it. She's so supportive of us connecting. And then you find out later she wasn't. a lot of times for me, us women, we can feel it with each other. We are so energetically attuned and emotionally attuned to each other that you can feel it if a woman is uncomfortable with you connecting with a guy that she's close with. And so if you're like kind of bypassing going and asking directly to that woman and just trying to like check a box that you checked in with someone, I just don't think that that's okay. Like, I don't think it's enough. It's like, I'm just kind of like, what's the point of any of it? Why don't you just go do whatever the fuck you want? I didn't mean to swear. What I'm trying to say here is that some of you might not know this, like these what I would consider very basic common decency and courtesies that you would give to another woman. But I see this pattern happening over and over, and I see it a lot in women who are connecting with me personally, and I'm like, this is so below my standard that I do, like, once that happens, I'm like, I have enough girlfriends. I have enough sisters in my life. I have so many sisters that I'm having a hard time keeping up with everyone and like keeping in close connection to all of them. So if a new woman comes into my life and she wants to be my sister and she's doing this stuff, I do not have any space for it in my life. And I want you to know that if the women in your life are acting like this and it is below your standard as well, you don't have to put up with this. You can just say no thank you and create vibrational space. So the universe doesn't allow for vacuums vibrationally. So what that means is that if you say, this is below my standard, I do not want to interact with women like this anymore, that are like going behind my back, saying that they have my back, but not actually acting in the accordance with that, and you just take them out of your life, just say, no, thank you, I'm good. The universe will put new women into your life that are more vibrationally resonant. So sometimes it's a test to see what you will put up with. And I just do not, I just like, I have no space for this. And I'm just like, I'm flabbergasted that women are still acting like this today. Like, what are you doing? And why do you think you can get away with this? Because in the end, it's only going to cause more disconnection. And do you know why I can speak so firmly about this and so clearly? Is because I used to be one of these women that was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And like my sexual energy as a Scorpio woman was just leaking everywhere. I'm like just leaking it on to every man that comes around, you know, and or women. And then when women would ask me like, hey, you're making me uncomfortable around my partner, or like, why did you just go connect with that guy that I liked? I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not me. I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, okay, girl, you can say that, but you're going to lose your friends. They're not going to want to hang out with you. They're not going to trust you. So a good indicator of this is if the women in your life are saying that they can't trust you, or that they are feeling uncomfortable around you with men in their life, there's probably because you are messing up something with the girl code. And so I would recommend for you to re-listen to this podcast and to start asking the women in your life, like, hey, do you feel safe around me and your partner? Do you feel safe around me and new men that or women that you're interacting with? Like, as a sister, do you feel like I actually have your back? As a sister, do you feel like I'm showing up and my actions are aligning with my words, and I actually am showing up and I have your like respect and loyalty? Because like, I don't respect a woman who's doing that, and in the end she's not going to get what she wants. I noticed today that there is a lot of women who don't feel fully in their power, and so when they see a woman who appears fully in her power, they see whoever man that she or woman that she is with, and they want that partner. So like, I've had this many times where I'm dating a man and suddenly all of these other women are attracted to my partner, and I can feel it. And because in the past I was in open relationships, it was like suddenly whoever man I was dating was like just like available for all of my friends, my girlfriends. And I'll minus that, not my girlfriends, because they know that this is not okay, but like just women in general just suddenly wanted him. And the second we broke up, that dried up. So this is also something to be really aware of, is that as a woman, whoever you're dating, you increase their social status by like 1 million or more, depending on which guy you're dating. Depending on which guy and how much you glow them up. But or depending on what kind of woman you are. So if you're really in your power, if you're very grounded in who you are, if you have this magnetic energy and women see this and they don't have it and they're in scarcity mindset, then they're going to grab onto whatever they can around you, whether it's you or your partner. And that is not safe. That is not real sisterhood. Real sisterhood is I can take a deep breath. I can unfold. I can talk to my women about what's happening in my relationship, knowing that it's safe with them. It will never get back to my partner. And I'm not saying I'm trash talking my partner. I'm just saying this is a safe space to process and to talk about whatever I'm going through and to be witnessed in my journey as a woman. And also, I know that these women are not going to go after my partner. They're not going to try and date my partner or do anything that made me feel unsafe around them when it comes to my partner. So I really hope that this podcast helps you with the girl code, because as women, there is certain amounts of inner work that we need to be doing that we only can do with other women. And there's certain level ups that we need to have happen in our lives that only can be done in real sisterhood. And, we talk about men being unsafe and men need to do this, men need to do that. I'm like, there's so much I see women that women need to work on, and as a collective, a species of all of us, myself included. And I'm like, we need to support each other. And it's this healing journey, this leveling up journey, this integration journey. It's really an integration and bringing all of these things home and coming into full alignment within ourselves. And I feel like the first thing we have to do is build that sisterhood. That's why wherever I go, wherever I am living in any sort of longer form, like, more than a couple months, I build a sisterhood around me. It's like, this is my tribe. This is my safety net around me, my protective bubble of women who are just like, I have your back. Like, we do this together. We're going to laugh together. We're going to cry together. We're going to talk about all the juicy sex stories together and all the breakup stuff together, and whatever is flowing, we are going to do it together. And I wish that for every woman to have that network of women that they can really trust. And in order to have that, you have to be a trustworthy woman. So if in any way you're doubting that and you're not sure if you are, again, I invite you to ask the women around you. Just ask them, like, do you trust me? Do you feel like I have your back? Do you trust me with other men or women around, other romantic interests that you have? And really invite in those reflections, invite in like the truth, even if it hurts, even if it's raw and real and doesn't really feel good in the moment, because that's how you're going to grow and that's how you're going to become the woman that you're meant to be. This is what I mean by we need other women to be able to level up. I have this women's community in San Francisco that I'm growing right now in conjunction and partnership with a couple other women. And if you want to be part of that, you can reach out to me on Instagram. We have a WhatsApp group. We do regular events. I have my next play party coming up, my vanilla play party coming up here on the island on Koh Phangan, January 10th. All of you are welcome to apply to join that. You can also reach out to me on Instagram in order to get the application. My Instagram is @BrittneeBond. And I think that's it for now. I just felt very fiery about this today, and halfway through this podcast, my podcast equipment failed me. So I recorded it again, but I think it was even more succinct. So it's always on an upward spiral in my life. It's always working out, and I invite that for you as well. And I hope that you guys, ladies, men, others, everything, I hope everyone has a beautiful day. And I will see you in the next podcast. Bye.